Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RK Football Podcast. This is episode. I don't actually know what episode this is of this season that we started because I've missed a few episodes myself. So this is another one. We'll call it just another one. I am back. Carl Dixon is back, which is good. Joined by Matt Thorney, David Newman, and Stuart Irvine.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
The trio that are it's always there, but I'm proud of you boys. You're keeping
We're the
this
regulars,
up.
mate. Yeah.
No, I feel like I should I'm a guest at this point. Take it away.
yeah. No.
But a lot to talk about. We'll go through some of the Premier League results soon. We'll go through Champions League stuff. Let's start. Where should we start from the weekend? Matt Thorney, what was the biggest standout result?
Well, for me, I would say it's got to be. I mean, it's like there was such a mixture of games, but I would say from David Moyes' point of view, it's got to be the Nottingham Forest game. That win for Everton, was huge, and it's actually sort of dragged Nottingham Forest more into the race for Champions League football because they looked comfortable at one point, and now there's not much in it. Yeah, there's not much in it now. And they could actually slip out the top 5 as what it is now. So, yeah, it's a big result for Everton. And well-deserved as well. They were brilliant. They were against Forest.
It's a shame for Forest, really, isn't it? But it is one of those situations where they've been brilliant all season, not taking anything away from their accomplishments. But if you're not going to beat a side like Everton, who are 16th, 15th in the league at best this year, at home, in a big, important game, you're not going to finish in the top 4.
Having said that, Everton have been really, really tough to beat since Moyes has come in. They went on. I mean, they've had a couple of. I know they've had maybe 5 or 6 draws or something like that, but really, really tough to beat, which they weren't before when Dyche was in charge. So probably not the easiest of wins. And yeah, a great result for Everton. Like I said, going on a string of just draw after draw. And hoping to end the season strong. I was looking at the obviously this being the last season that Everton are going to be playing in Goodison Park as well. I forgot. I was thinking, what's their last game at home? It's against bloody Southampton. Like, what? Surely there'd be a better team they could play. Their last team at home who would have been relegated for the last month.
They went in 5-0. Might have been 5-6-0.
Yeah, maybe. Imagine Southampton beat them. But I just thought, that's a bit
it'd be very Everton. Yeah. That would be so Everton.
Exactly, yeah. The last memory they have of Goodison.
Going off the back of what you were just saying there, David, I saw a stat that since David Moyes has come in, he's got the 5th best record in the Premier League. He's collected 21 points from a possible 39. So, I don't think it's too much of a shock that Everton did beat Nottingham Forest. I just think it's how well Everton got that win.
I don't think many people would have expected Everton to win, possibly another draw, given that was their kind of form. But yeah, certainly, them winning is not the biggest shock in the world, but I don't think many people would have had them down to win, perhaps.
Yeah,
it's more of a bigger shock really for Forest more than anything. Isn't it? I mean, are the wheels now starting to fall off? It's amazing how 2 losses in a row can completely change things. I'm just taking a look at this weekend's action actually, and they're not in action until Monday, unless I've read this wrong. Yeah, Monday, Tottenham away. So at least they can get back to winning ways next weekend.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. It's gonna hot up that top 4 race, but. More importantly to me, that over the weekend, it was like Everton beating Forest, and the other one was Wolves beating Tottenham, which we might go into in a moment. But 2 big results at the bottom, really. And then when you're Ipswich and you go to Stamford Bridge and get a point, and when you're Leicester and you go to the Amex and get a point, and you go, oh wow, well, Everton and Wolves have won now, so that's. Completely pointless, wasn't it?
Yeah. But having said, I know what you mean about Ipswich. But to speak on Ipswich, they were 2-0 in the lead in that game, and they only walked away with a point, which goes to show why they're going to get relegated this season. So I know it's a point and all that, but probably should have walked away with 3 points there. But
I didn't watch the Chelsea game because I was out at the time. But
Fake fan.
Sorry.
Yeah, you have to wear a jersey on the Podmat to be considered a real fan.
Hey, Roy McIlroy wins
or have
the
a badge.
Masters.
I'm
wearing golf. I'm going for the golf theme this weekend. I'm going for the golf theme. All right.
That's it.
But for me, when I've watched the highlights and I've looked over the game, Chelsea just looked so disjointed as they have ever since January. Ever since January, just looked so disjointed. And if we get the top five, they always say you're like normally that team that's finished fourth, they've scraped in there. Like if we get in, we've scraped in 100%.
Yeah.
So
just a point outside the top four. Yeah, just a point.
Point outside top four, but it's the manner in which we're like picking up these like losing games or dropping points against teams we shouldn't be joined to it. Ipswich.
Yeah, quite right.
No, like that should not happen.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to say it's that kind of glass half full, half empty type thing, like with Chelsea just being a point outside the top four or top five now, you would think, well, that's not bad with 6 games to go. But at one point they were second. At one point in the season, they were considered title contenders. They've slowly come up they've slowly come down as opposed to slowly raising up the table, if that makes sense.
No,
so
I agree.
Been a horrible second half of the season for them.
Yeah, but you'd have to say at the start of the season, if you'd have said Chelsea were in the top 5, you'd have said good season.
Yeah, 100%. I still agree with that.
100%. I not doubt that if someone said at the end of the season, right, you've won the Conference League and finished top 4, or you don't win the Conference League and you get top 4, I'd say that is a good season for Chelsea because we're really back in the Champions League. But it's the manner in which we've got in there in the second half of the season doesn't sit well for probably me and other Chelsea fans.
No, I get that. You'd have to say in that particularly the top 4 race. I know it's top 5. I know what we're saying, but like that 4th position gets you more money. It gets you a higher seeding, I think, as well. Newcastle seem to be the favourites. They've still got a game in hand on people as well, by the way. Against either Fulham, Bournemouth.
It's Palace.
No, it'll be Palace. It'll be Palace on Wednesday, I think. Yeah. So you'd have to say
team as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Double captain Isak this week. Please don't let me down.
But by the time City, Chelsea, and Villa play again, Newcastle could be 3rd on 59 points and 5 points ahead of Chelsea and Villa. And that's a big gap at this stage of the season. So you'd have to put Eddie Howe's team as favourites, see what happens with Forest. That brings, I mean, we're not going to, is there a point talking about Man United being crap again? It's
same old.
We've done this podcast, right?
Yeah. Just copy and paste everything I said about United since we rebooted rebooted the podcast. Just copy and paste that onto every single week. Doesn't matter. It's always the same.
I did appreciate how over the last few weeks, with sports media still being enthused by Man United still, even though they're crap. I loved how the story became. Ruben Amorim stands a long way away at training from his team, and he gets a real bird's eye. Jesus Christ!
It's so annoying when people pick up on stuff like that. It's like, mate, you're just looking for things to hammer him with now. Like, I mean, Ruben hammering him. Honestly, no, bad joke.
To be fair, I saw some people on another podcast, which we're not gonna shill because watch ours and ours only. Some people on another podcast complaining about the BBC doing a story on managers and head coaches standing in there where they stand on the touchline and all this, and saying nobody wants to see that. I'd rather read that than read about Ruben Amorim standing 20 yards further up the field to watch them train. Do you know?
Yeah. Just at that point of the season there, everything's done. Everything's pretty much tied up with a nice, neat little bow. That articles like that are being released. It's like, all right, there's nothing else to write about. Just to speak briefly on United, I mean, who didn't see that coming? I certainly did. I mean, 4-1. I think my prediction was 3-0. So 4-1's pretty bloody close. It was a terrible performance. With again that European thing, everything hinges on Europe. Everything hinges on Thursday. I know we'll talk about that in a bit, but. Once that's done, similar to Tottenham season, again, we'll come on to Tottenham as well, I know, but they're in very similar positions where everything is just, the league is dead. Everything is on Europe. Once Europe's gone, that's it.
Do you think it matters to the Man United board or anything like that where they finish in the league this year? Because they're 14th at the minute. They're 7 points off the top 10. Being in that top 10, would that be important?
No, I don't think they would look. They would look at that and go, well, top half, bottom half. They wouldn't think. I mean, with every placement up you get in the Premier League, you get a little bit more money. I think as long as the season finishes strong and the mood is good around the fans, I think that's what they'll care about. I don't think they'll care about 12th as opposed to 9th. I don't think they would really, for example, they wouldn't really care much about that. It's just finish as high as possible and just finish the season strong, hopefully with a European trophy. That'd be nice.
Europa or bust. I like it. I do like that. Bringing us on then. Go on.
Just very quickly, I just want to ask David. There's a lot of people at the start of Amarin's reign at Man United that were like, "Oh, we got you can't judge him on this season and all this sort of stuff." But he has been at a good portion of this season to show what he's made of. And is it promising? Have you seen anything that for you feel like, do you know what? If we get the right players in, this guy could actually do well.
Well, that's just it. That's the one thing. I think that's the one thing everyone's pointing towards is that when he came in, and even when he was at Sporting, when he was first kind of touted for the job, he was saying, "I'm only going to play this way. I'm only going to do the 3 at the back with the wing backs. That's how I play, and everyone else can do it. And that's exactly how I play. That's how I'm going to play when I arrive at United." And that's what he's doing. But he doesn't necessarily have the players to do that. He's recruited a couple of players who came in, who slightly fit that system. Players like Dorgu, but he hasn't had a transfer window yet, so he needs time to be able to build a squad around which he prefers to kind of have his teams set out to play. And he did say, I think it was his first presser, where he basically told United fans like, look, this is going to be a painful season. There are going to be painful results along the way. It's not going to be easy, and people are on his back and have been ever since then. Even though that's what he said right from the off. So I think just he needs. It's a huge summer for the club. Massive summer. I think if he doesn't get this, if they don't get the recruitment right in the summer, I think big questions will be asked, maybe come Christmas next year, who knows, depending how strong they go in the league, because the league is really everything for United at the moment. Well, in terms of, in long term, the odd European run, happy days, but I think league form is where it really needs to return.
I will say, United and Spurs in particular must be so grateful that the bottom 3 have been so bad this year, because it could have been a scary situation.
Could have been worse. Could have been sketchy. Could have been sketchy. Yeah.
But from bottom to top, that brings us to the champions elect. We said about
who's that again?
Forgotten. Arsenal, right? It's a when, not an if, and that when might well be next weekend. So the next time we come to you on a podcast, Liverpool might be champions.
Yep.
Is it? I thought it was the following weekend. Oh, but if Arsenal lost or they drop points, you mean?
Basically, if we drop points to get they lose to Ipswich and we beat Leicester.
Right. Okay. So then the following weekend.
Yeah, that's.
Hey! No. Ipswich went to Stamford Bridge, went 2-0 up, and could have won that game. I wouldn't rule it out in this game. Okay. It would be the most Arsenal way to give Liverpool the title, wouldn't it?
Just win the league already, Stuart. Just get it over and done with. I feel like this has been interminable. They feel like they've been winning. They're going to win the league for the last 3 years. Just get it over with.
I know.
Good God.
Stop making it look like it's painful to go through as well. Imagine being a Man United or Spurs fan.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it is because it's like,
all right.
Watching that second half against West Ham, it was like that was torturous enough. I mean, good God, we were horrible in that second half. But
oh no, we only just won a game.
Oh, can't give me anything, can you? Oh, I see.
No, oh God.
No, I mean, look, everyone will agree Liverpool have been the best team in the country by some mile this year. So they will be champions. Maybe this weekend, probably next weekend when they beat Spurs. So
I bet you're glad though that Salah signed that contract though.
Oh, thank God. I have to admit,
it might have been confirmed by the time we get this podcast out. Did Mo Salah spoil the fact that Virgil van Dijk signed a new contract as well?
I mean, probably. But then
he
to be fair,
he looked a bit scared in that post-match interview when he said, I mean, I hope anyway. I hope.
What's probably going to happen is they want to do it in one goal, so they've put it in like this week. Well, was it? Yeah. So this week is going to be announced. I'll be surprised if it's not in a couple of days. But yeah, it's. Yeah. I mean, the way he celebrated that winner. I mean, if that's not showing he's staying, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I reckon that with Liverpool, with Salah signing that contract, is it 2 years?
Yeah,
2 years.
Yeah. Contract. I reckon he'll be second highest Premier League goal scorer by the time he's
not that far off. Who's second again?
Wayne Rooney. Or is it Harry Kane?
Sorry.
It's one.
It is Kane. You're right. It is Kane.
What's he on like? What's Alan Shearer's? It's like nearly
260s. Alan Shearer, and I think
Alan Shearer. So he ain't gonna get him. Don't be that optimistic. Come on.
But it's like 3 strong seasons. He could do it, but it's not. Yeah, well.
It's good to see Liverpool investing in their youth there by giving Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk new contracts and letting Trent go to Madrid. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Can I just say something? Do you remember a couple of weeks ago, Matthew, where you were saying you said, I wonder what the odds are on Liverpool to win the league and Southampton to get relegated in the same weekend? Obviously, that didn't happen, but I've got a new one that you can put money on potentially. Is Liverpool to win the league and Ange Postecoglou to get sacked in the same weekend? Because in 2 weeks' time, they play each other. Tottenham could be out of Europe by then. Liverpool could absolutely hammer them to win the league, and Spurs sack Ange in the same day.
Do you reckon they'd sack him?
No, I think they'd let him. I think they'd get him to the end of the season. I guess.
What's the point? What's the point in sacking him now?
Yeah, it would make no sense, but it would be funny.
I get what you mean, but the thing is that he is like I can't see any point where Andrew's taken this club in the right direction.
If he wins the Europa League, he'll still be sacked, I think.
Oh yeah. Do you think he'll be sacked?
The project is too far. I think he will not win the Europa League anyway.
If they win the Europa League and if they finish like 17th in the Premier League, I don't see any way they continue forward with them. Back in the Champions League, maybe that's a strong one, but I don't know.
I don't think
it feels like the fans have had enough of them.
I think there's a reason you're seeing stories about. Oh, Thomas Frank could be good at Spurs this week. I'd say that much. Tottenham are looking for their targets in the summer. And when Ange Postecoglou is talking in pressers about players leaking information to the press, and he's saying like, I think he said like, I've narrowed it down now. I think I know where the information. When you're talking about that in your pressers, I mean, it's just done and over with, isn't it? You're not really going to be there much longer. It's just been so toxic for the last while for them.
Who would you bring in though? If like next season, if you could bring anyone, someone that I saw and I'd never really thought about him was Thiago Motta.
Motta from Juventus, isn't it? Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Whoever you bring in doesn't matter. It is a completely faceless name, basically, because they're not going to succeed at the way the club currently is run. It doesn't matter. You say Motta. I understand, brilliant manager, and he's done great things with, I want to say Atalanta and then Juve. But in Italy, he's done great things. But he would come in and fall out with everyone because they won't back him like he needs to be backed. It's like I bring it back to Unai Emery at Villa, right? If Unai Emery went into Spurs, he would fail within 6 months because they wouldn't back him like he needs to be backed. The only reason it's worked at Villa is because they've thrown everything at his vision. Tottenham need to do the same. So when they talk about Thomas Frank, he'd be a brilliant manager at Tottenham. He deserves a shot at a top team, is probably the best way to say it. But are they going to buy in?
Investment?
Are they going to buy into the plan? Are they going to buy into the system that Thomas Frank worked with? No, it's not happening. So we'll be sitting here in a year's time talking about this manager's failed. And it's the same thing that's happened at Old Trafford, and it's happened at Old Trafford. Two teams who are parallel of each other at the minute, where they are toxic from the top, and it's coming down to the bottom.
Yeah, that's what they do. Another parallel is the owners, with protests against the owners and things like that, and callers into shows and fans online. It's not the team, it's not the manager, it's the board, it's Levy, it's the Glazers, it's all this kind of stuff.
I mean, just look at Tottenham's roll call over the past 15 years of managers that they've had.
They've had some amazing managers.
But they're managers that have won everywhere apart from Tottenham.
Yeah.
So at some point you have to go, I might be the problem. But Daniel Levy won't.
I mean, I think the perfect example of it is what Pochettino done at that club.
Yeah.
He done an amazing job with a team that all these other managers couldn't do that much with, and he come in and done all that. And was it 2 second place finishes with that team?
Yeah, Champions League finals,
second and third, I think. Yeah.
And he got, like you say, he got a Champions League final as well. Very, very good job there.
He did an amazing job, and then he wasn't backed because they didn't back.
And didn't he introduce Harry Kane to the team as well? He was the one who started.
No, that was Tim Sherwood.
Was it Sherwood? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay.
Tim Sherwood, the man. They bring him back in. They should bring him back in.
It's funny you talk about Poch.
He didn't feel like a real manager. He was just a clown.
He wasn't a Villa either. Don't worry. You talk about Poch. He is one man I could definitely see taking that job back. He's talked about wanting to go back.
He was asked about it, yeah. And again, and the press. I think the press have a bit of a vent. Something. I think they're out for Ange a little bit. 2 things. One was they asked him about Poch's comments about coming back to Tottenham, which you shouldn't really ask a current manager of a club about a previous manager's intention to come back. I think that's a bit below the belt.
Don't know, actually. I'd say just to defend the media, and surprise, I would say, right, if Poch has come out and said it in the media, it's fair game.
But that has nothing to do with Ange. That has nothing to do with him whatsoever.
So if somebody's saying they want your job,
but Poch didn't say he wanted the job. He said maybe one day he would like, but he said, but I'm currently at, but I'm doing it. And he said, I'm never going to leave. He's doing the US national team. He was Mike was put in front of him and he said whatever he said, but and then they go to Ange. I think that was a bit not on. But the other thing they asked him was that, do you remember the Arsenal match against the Champions League match against Real Madrid, and they were hammered them 3-0, and the Arsenal fans started singing, "Are you Spurs in disguise?" And they asked Ange about that. In his press conference for another Tottenham match. It's like, what kind of question is that? Like, what is he supposed to say? That has nothing to do with him. I thought that was a sneaky bloody question as well.
It's funny though, because at the start of his reign, the media were in love with him.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, but now he's gotten, and it is both ways, because he's gotten particularly spiky with some journalists in particular. He's given some very spiky responses. Maybe, yeah, but still, there should be a level of professionalism still.
He's in the Spurs job. His mental health's in the toilet. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, he just seems so gloomy.
I don't blame him. I don't.
Yeah, no, not at all. But still.
Anyway. Let's talk. So that's Premier League. Anything else we wanted to mention on the Premier League?
Well, very quickly, who do we reckon will be that? We'll say top 5. Who do you reckon will be those other 3 teams in the Champions League places come the end of the season? So let's say Liverpool. Let's say Liverpool slip out, and what?
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool slip out. Yeah.
No. Right, I'll go first because I want to get out of the way. Liverpool top, Arsenal second, done. Fine. Third will be Newcastle. 4th will be City. 5th will be Forest. They'll scrape it. 6th Villa. 7th Chelsea.
Oh, God.
Probably not a bad show.
After the season we've had, yeah.
But saying that, there's some big games in this battle for Villa's next 2 games are Newcastle and City. It could all change in 2 weeks.
I have a feeling Chelsea could just scrape it.
I like you.
Yeah. They haven't got a bad run in from now to the end of the season.
So Forest are dropping out, well. David, yeah?
No, so I would have Liverpool, Arsenal. It would be Forest, yeah. Newcastle. No, well, like I said, Liverpool, Arsenal. I probably would have Newcastle 3rd, City 4th, Chelsea 5th. Yeah. Yeah, I'd give that as my top 5. Why not?
Okay. Villa in the Europa League.
Villa, yeah, Forest to bottle
it. Right, Stu, what do you reckon?
Stu's like, I don't care about you peasants down there.
yeah. Talk away, whatever.
Well, yeah. But anyway, so I don't know. I've got this weird feeling. Obviously, you got was it with Newcastle's form? I think they'll get 3rd. I think obviously City are coming back, so they get fourth. But for some reason, just because of good form, obviously Carl would like this. I think Villa will get fifth.
I think it kind of depends on the FA Cup though as well.
Yeah, I don't know, just because I think I saw them again. They're starting to hit a little bit of form. I think Villa at the right time a little bit, and obviously Newcastle. I don't know. I just think obviously it depends on Champions League stuff in the week, and obviously with the FA Cup stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's got a feeling Villa might sneak in.
Isn't it amazing?
There, I mean, any prediction isn't that wild a prediction, you know. So
no, this is it. It's not.
But with every week,
I think.
Isn't it amazing how Newcastle not playing in European football this year has been a massive boost for them? Fair play to them, credit to them, but that is a big difference. Right, Matt Thorney, yours. Give me yours. Tell me that Chelsea are at.
No, I would say Liverpool obviously win it. They got Arsenal. I'm going to say Newcastle. I'm going to say Newcastle third. I'm going to go Nottingham Forest fourth. I don't think yes, they've dropped some points, but their defence has been solid all season. I think that will be the thing that gets them into Europe come the end of the season. Champions League, I should say. And I think fifth, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Chelsea. I think City are going to drop out of Europe, out of the Champions League. And it's a hard one because Mamouche has been brilliant for City since he's come in. Absolutely brilliant. I've loved watching him play. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
But they leak so many goals. They leak goals. So I'm gonna go with Chelsea get fifth. That's not my heart at all.
I'm not saying a word.
It's a reasonable prediction.
Hey, I did say Chelsea win the league. All right, I didn't come over anything too outlandish.
No, you didn't say Chelsea win the league. You just said, yeah, Newcastle in great form, Villa are in great form, City have got Marmouche, who's brilliant, not Forest have got a great defence, but Chelsea. Anyway, right.
Well summarised.
Premier League then. Should be looking ahead to next weekend's fixtures. Shall we have a quick look through? I mean, there's a couple of fixtures in between. Bournemouth and Fulham is happening as we're recording, or about to happen as we're recording, to peel back the curtain. So we won't talk about that. Newcastle against Palace. Should be a Newcastle winner. I assume we're all on board with that.
Yep.
Big fixtures next weekend. Then City going to Goodison after Everton beating Forest. Everton might, pull something out again. But arguably for this top four race, it's Villa Newcastle at 5:30, isn't it? The winner of that one is pretty. I mean, that's if Newcastle beat Palace and beat Villa next week, that's third place confirmed, really, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I agree. If Newcastle did win against Villa, then that is going to really make sure Newcastle were right in that place for sure.
Is that probably? Do you reckon that's probably the biggest match, or the match of the most consequences, the most high stakes match of next weekend? It probably is.
Depends on the title, but depends on Ipswich and Liverpool, I guess. But if Liverpool don't win the championship next week, then arguably.
Yeah.
But then again, you've also got, as I say, City got to get the job done against Everton. Chelsea have got to get the job done against a Fulham team who are having a good year. I mean, if Fulham win tonight, they're not far from that hunt. They're not going to be in it, but they're not far. And then obviously Forest have got to get a job done and get back to winning ways. So lots of things to think about.
Who's West Ham got next weekend?
Southampton.
They have Southampton. Yeah.
Because if West Ham win that game, that could relegate. Am I right in thinking that would then relegate Leicester and Ipswich?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I think a loss. I think even a draw, depending on point, I think would.
Because I think that it would definitely relegate Leicester, but Southampton, Ipswich would still be in it if they pick anything up next weekend.
Imagine. Right, moving on. Champions League we'll start with, shall we?
What game should we start with? I mean, my God.
I mean, look, we'll talk about what happened in Paris. I get that, but let's give Arsenal their dues here, by the way. No, all seriousness. that is probably the result of the season in Europe, isn't it? To beat this Real Madrid team so comfortably as well. I mean, saying that, Barca put 4 past Dortmund as well. 2 bonkers results in terms of what you'd expect. Are Arsenal through now? Can you see Real Madrid winning by 4 goals?
No. Not even just because it's Real Madrid. Yeah. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No. Like, go on.
I was just going to say, not even because it's Real Madrid. Look, results like the first leg results, people are always on a high about it, and rightly so, because they're exciting results. But it's all about the second leg. No one remembers. Like, do you remember? I think a good example is, do you remember when PSG beat Barcelona at the Parc des Princes years ago, and it was a huge result for them? Was it 3 or 4-0? I think it was 3-0. I can't quite remember.
I think it was 4 because
4. It was.
Sure,
They were hammered. They pumped them. They hammered them that night, and it was a huge result for Paris and the fans and everything. Like, all the players, the manager went, did well to try and temper themselves, but they really couldn't, because it's a huge result for them, probably the biggest result for them in the Champions League. But then they go next week they go to the Nou Camp, and it's probably one of the biggest comebacks in Champions League history. And no one remembers that first leg result at all. They only remember that second leg comeback in the Nou Camp. I think Neymar had the game of the season, the game of his life for Barcelona.
It was a bonkers game. Yeah.
It was, and the thing is, like, the reason why I think I get what you're saying there, it's not just because it's Real Madrid, but if they get a goal in the first half, I'm telling you now, that will silence Arsenal fans.
Yeah, of course
they
it will.
They will be like, it will be.
I think that's what their aim will be as well. I think Real Madrid's aim will be to get a goal within the first 5 minutes. They'll come out, they'll fly out of the blocks, I think, in that first sort of 10 or 15 minutes, and trying to get at least 1 goal before half time. But it's going to be a great game nonetheless. It's going to be great.
I'll be honest,
definitely watching it.
And it's rare I say this. I don't think so. I think Real Madrid are going to struggle. I'm not saying they won't win the game. And at best, I can see a situation where they force extra time, and who knows what happens from there. But I can't see them beating them by 4 goals in 90 minutes. Because that's what they need to win in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
They have to win 4-0, 5-1, 6-2.
Yeah, do you know what I just thought, right? Do you know what I just thought? So Arsenal have been very prone to picking up silly red cards this season. I know 1 or 2 have been unjustified. Watch them get a red card in the first 10 minutes of the game, and they'll fall to pieces.
And it's stuff like that that's going to be important. But what I would say is, and the reason this
goes out the window.
This is why I'm saying about I can't see it right. Real Madrid keeping the clean sheet is going to be the thing, because Real Madrid have kept 2 clean sheets. I'm just looking, 2 clean sheets in their last maybe 15 games here.
Yeah, they've not been great defensively.
So, but what we're saying is, if they can't keep a clean sheet, they have to score 5 or 6. It's a big ask. It's possible. It's a big ask.
I think it's a bigger ask of Arsenal than it is of Real Madrid, because this is kind of, it's more or less virgin territory for Arsenal. I know they've been in semi-finals before, but not that many. And to go to Real Madrid, who are the European kings,
I think they've got into the
twice. Yeah, exactly. And Real Madrid a bit, freaking 30 or 40 times, right, or something like that. I think it's bigger. I think it's a bigger ask of Arsenal than it is of Real Madrid. Can you go to the Bernabeu and keep a clean sheet for 90 minutes, not do anything silly, no mistakes? I don't know. I think it's a big ask for them. I think Real Madrid. I think this is not bread and butter for them, but I mean, they'll think to themselves, right? I mean, let's try it again. Let's try and get to yet another semi-final.
Like, I get Real Madrid weren't amazing in that first leg. They weren't, but they still had some really good chances to even just get a goal or 2 in that game and really cause Arsenal some problems. So they weren't, by all means, rubbish in that game. Arsenal, I would have to say, in that first game, I would even go as far as say it's perfect. They were brilliant.
They were great.
Like, Rice was fantastic. So was Saka, Partey. Raya in goal was brilliant as well. Martinelli had the game of his life. They were fantastic. If Arsenal are to go through, they have to be better than that. That's what in defensively, not necessarily attacking wise. Defensively, they have to be better than that. And that's why I think too much.
Should we do score predictions? Big games.
Can I just ask as well, just a bit about Arsenal, what you guys think? If Real Madrid get a goal in the first half, or say the first of 10, 15 minutes, do Arsenal go and try to get another goal, or do they sit back and defend for the next 70, 80 minutes?
Go and get another goal. 100%.
Well, then that opens them up, and then the whole game changes, and then you never know. Yeah.
Panic stations, I think.
Experience will be key, and Real Madrid certainly have that. Let's do score predictions. I'll start us.
Yeah, okay.
I understand everything you're saying. I just have a feeling Arsenal are going to get through. I'm going to go 1-1 on the night.
1-1 on the night. Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
I just can't see Real Madrid keeping a clean sheet, and I can't see them.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
This Arsenal team.
Yeah, and they can't keep winning it. I mean, they will lose. You know, they will lose every now and then. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be a tight one. I'm gonna go 3-1 Real Madrid on the night.
Okay.
Arsenal will be through.
4-3 aggregate. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Stu.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, the thing about Real Madrid is obviously they play their best stuff and the backs against the wall, usually. But yeah, the idea that they've got to sit there and was it not score, or was Arsenal not going to score? I think they'll win on night. I think it'd be a 2-1 to Real Madrid, but I think that 3-0. I mean, I think that's it's a tough ask. I think for Real Madrid, but it is Real Madrid, so can't really predict.
So, after watching the first game, and I think we can all say that we've probably seen two of the best free kicks in Champions League history.
That first one was ridiculous. I mean,
that's Roberto Carlos-esque.
Exactly, and the second one was even better.
I prefer the first one. I think the second one was astounding, but for that first one, my jaw hit the floor. Like, what has he just done?
It was insane.
The curl on that one as well.
That perfect angle. I mean, when he scored it, it was like, wow, he scored a free kick. He's never done that before. But then they showed the angle behind him where it literally swerves it. The ball is set out like a meter outside the goal. I was like, what has he just done?
But with that in mind, he had to score 2 free kicks like that to beat Courtois. And Courtois was brilliant before them goals were scored.
Yeah,
he was brilliant.
Full stretch.
So I actually am going to go out on the limb and say 3-0, and this game's going to go extra time.
Wow.
And I think extra time, though. And then Real Madrid will win because of the momentum in the tie.
We'll just win in extra time,
and they'll win in extra time.
Oh,
no, if it goes penalties, Arsenal will have it.
Weirdly, I mean, I don't agree with the 3-0, but I do agree with that. If they pull it off and get it to extra time, Real Madrid will win in extra time. I understand that point.
On the night, 100%. So,
moving on, Villa Park then, probably the biggest game in Aston Villa's recent history, at least, let's say. Definitely in recent history. It's bigger than Paris, I'd argue, because it's at Villa Park as well. Coming into it 3-1 down. I mean, look, I think there was a lot of positives in that game at Paris for Villa, because PSG are frighteningly good. They are scary. But I think there was a lot of positives, getting the goal, going ahead, defended well for so long. I mean, if that would have ended 2-1 and you'd have told me the 2 goals they scored were 2 stunners, fair play.
That third goal was a killer. That third goal was such a killer.
And that's the thing. That third goal for me is the killer, because we come into this now against this PSG team, similar to what we're saying about Real Madrid. To win it in normal time, we need to win by 3 goals. That sounds like a really tough ask. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying Villa can't do it, because, you know, to use a Ron Saunders phrase, do you want to bet against us? But I don't know. It's going to be tough. But from a Villa fan point of view, I'll be honest, it still feels like a free hit. Do you know what I mean? We are playing the team that, apart from maybe Barca, are probably the favourites for the trophy, actually, at the minute. They are that good.
You don't want to get completely pumped, though, do you? Want to put in some effort?
I can't see us getting completely pumped. I'll say that much. I think we've got at Villa Park, where we've lost a handful of times over 3 years. It'll be a night to remember, that's for sure. I think
it screams a game where if Villa win, like you say, I don't think they're going to win the game win the tie in normal time. If anything, it'll be 2-0 and then it'll go to extra time. Best scenario. But if someone said to me at the beginning of the season that PSG would be 3-1 up in the first leg, going against Villa, and going second leg, I would have actually said I reckon Villa would turn it around because of how PSG are so poor in the Champions League all the time.
Yeah.
But
for them to go to Anfield and do what they did, that's exactly. It's a different animal. This.
But Dembele is brilliant, and I can never say the guy's name, the Georgian on the other wing. What is his name? What is his name? Someone needs to say this to me so I know it.
I'm not even attempting it.
But he's unbelievable. He is, and if it weren't for them, I would sit there and go.
Kvaratskhelia, I think it's saying.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Go with that. Sounds like you've had a Budweiser, but yes, we'll go with that.
It's got it. I mean, I agree. I'm throwing this prediction out early. I actually think Villa will win the game because it's at Villa Park and we are strong at Villa Park. I think we'll be 2-0 up and we'll be pushing. Because we will, at 2-0 up, we won't settle for extra time. That's not how Emery does it, right? And we'll be pushing, and PSG will win it in the last 5 minutes.
I was just going to say, I think I have a sneaky feeling there'll be a bit of heartbreak about this match where Villa will get the 2 goals, they'll be level, and then PSG will get like a.
It's the most Villa way to lose the Champions League game.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1.
That'd be way worse than with like losing like 10-1 in aggregate, wouldn't it? Just having that last minute.
I'm telling myself that it won't be. But,
no,
that'll be on there next week with loaded tissues.
But look, as I said, it's a free hit to be in the Champions League quarterfinal in the first season in the Champions League for 30 years. It doesn't matter. It's a successful season no matter what. And I'll be honest, I've got my eyes on the FA Cup.
Exactly. I mean, it's not as if it is a free hit as well in the same. I mean, it's the ultimate of free hits because you still have the FA Cup semi-final and you're still within huge shout of getting in the top 5 for next season. So it's not as if everything hinges on that night. The players can kind of go out there and just give it their all, knowing that they still have silverware to contend for.
I mean, I'll say this, and this might be controversial. I would much rather us get knocked out this week to PSG and win the semi-final against Palace.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
So, because we don't, I mean, we have a chance, but we have a very small chance of winning the Champions League. We have quite a big chance of winning the FA Cup this year if we play to our strengths.
Who would you face? Who are the other 2 possible teams you would face in the Champions League semi?
So it's Arsenal or Real Madrid.
Oh right, okay. So
which weirdly, with the way things have gone, from a Villa point of view, if he could turn it around against PSG, I kind of fancy us against Arsenal over 2 legs.
But there's a very slight chance Real Madrid could win.
There is against Real Madrid now.
Very slight. I understand that, but, very slight. But an Arsenal Villa Champions League semi-final would be amazing.
I fancy us against Arsenal over 2 legs.
I'd fancy us as well.
So, but any more predictions, boys?
I'm sticking with 2-1. I am.
Same 2-1.
Yeah. Well, glad to see you all hate me. Moving on to the other we'll gloss over the 2 other Champions League games quickly. Barca 4-0 up in the tie against Dortmund.
That's done. Yeah.
We all agree Barca are going to probably win on the night and win again.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And then into Bayern. So Bayern losing in the tie 2-1, going to the San Siro, desperately trying to hold on to this host final game. Can they turn it around?
Yeah. Do you reckon? I think Inter being at home, I think they're really strong at home. So I think Inter will squeeze through.
I think that the firepower that they possess up front, Bayern, I think that it's very hard to deal with that. I get that Inter have been very good defensively this year, and to get a win, especially at the Allianz, was a big statement. I don't know. I think that Bayern have still got what it takes to turn this tie around. So I'm going to back Bayern still.
It's one of those. I'd prefer Bayern to go through, but I think Inter will do it.
I actually kind of would prefer Inter to go through because it feels like a name we haven't seen in a while, and no one wants Vincent Kompany to go from failing at Burnley to winning the Champions League.
It's in the Champions League finals.
Yeah, they were a few years ago with Lukaku and stuff, weren't they? I don't know. I actually fancy Bayern to turn it around as well. There's something about Bayern this year. I think We'll see.
Going in the waters of Germany.
And I kind of fancy a two-legged Bayern-Barcelona match after the craziness of their group stage match.
Yeah.
That'll do me. Okay, so look, there are 8 teams left. We know the first legs of the quarterfinals. Let's pick a winner, shall we?
I'm sticking with Bayern Munich.
I'm gonna go Bayern or PSG, I think. Sorry, Kyle.
Hey, but you just predicted for them to go out.
That's right. In that case, I'll go with Barcelona. Then I'll go with Barcelona.
That's brilliant. Oh, I think Inter are going to knock them out, but I'm going to go Bayern.
Oh yeah, but it's still going to win it.
Stu?
Yeah, I'll go Barcelona. Yeah, good point.
I'm still sticking with PSG. To be fair, I just don't know. I was thinking about that. I just think I don't know. Just been outstanding. I just think PSG definitely.
Oh no, hang on. I said PSG would win that match against Villa.
No, he meant Bayern. You said Bayern were going.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I like the Barca. I like the Barca theory, but PSG. I think it's a Barca PSG final. The way it's going. And yes, I'd probably fancy Barca on the big final stage. Which will be interesting. I mean, Lewandowski kind of deserves one, doesn't he? So, let's see what happens with that. Where are we? What am I looking at? Europa League, shall we? Should we Europa it? Okay.
What, the 2 teams that are doing terrible in the Premier League?
Oh, we have now. It's all we have, mate. Please.
How amazing would it be, right, if Glasgow Rangers go further than Tottenham and Man United?
Yeah, good for them. Yeah, it'd be great for them.
No, all seriousness. We'll start with United then, shall we? Home to Lyon. Lyon are a decent team.
They are. They looked really good the other day.
But United didn't lose the game. The tougher part of the game. You'd have to fancy them.
Yeah, I don't really have much to kind of say about the match, the upcoming match anyway. In that, I mean, obviously hoping United go through, but United, especially in Europe over the last years, have been quite unpredictable. You just don't really know how they're going to show up. The league form at weekends never really gives a good it doesn't really give a good indication as how well they play during the week, kind of way. So it's 2-2. I really don't know. I hope United go through. I think they will. But I think it'll be a good game and it'll be a close game. But yeah, I think United go through. But I don't know. It's just how bad they've been this season. I can't say with degree. That just shows how bad it is. Or I can't say with 100% certainty that they will go through. And I think a lot of people, even non-United fans, would say the same. That it's a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, I think if Bruno Fernandes has a really good game,
if he can show up, if Fernandes can show up.
Through.
Yeah, and if 1 or 2 other players, that'd be nice. Can have good games as well. That'd be great. I don't know. Well, people are saying now that there's a kind of I think people are saying now that with Bayindir playing at the weekend and having not a great match. I mean, he was at fault for one of the goals, but for the 3 others, it wasn't really his fault. And people are saying, well, who should start Thursday? I think it will be Onana. Because Amorim in his press conference said that he was dropped just to kind of get him away, just to disconnect, as opposed to coming out and saying, "Oh, he's been terrible, I'm going to drop him." He probably wouldn't say that anyway, but I think he just wanted to get him out of the limelight for the weekend and just get him prepared for Thursday, really. So it will be Onana who starts.
Any other predictions, boys?
1-0 United. I'm going to be boring. Just go 1-0. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring tie.
I'll go 2-1 United. Come on.
No, I think it'll be more high scoring than you think, because United keeping a clean sheet is not happening. 3-2.
That's what I said. 2-1, mate.
2-1. 3-2 United. Stu?
Same as you guys. About 2-1 United.
Okay. So that'll be United through. Tottenham is the interesting one. I'm saying this now. I think Tottenham lose to Frankfurt.
I think they crash out. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's 1-1, isn't it? The first leg?
1-1, and I think they lose it like 3-1. They crash out.
I was going to say that as well.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Style.
And I think, and I'll even go out on the limb and say that Ange will be out of the job by Friday.
I don't see them sacking him. I don't see, even if they go out. I know fans will be calling for his head if they do go out of Europe. But what is the point? What is the point of sacking him now? I mean, I guess having said that, I mean, there's 6 games left to play. There's nothing to play for. Maybe they'd have an interim from now to the end. They wouldn't hire a new manager like a
Ryan Mason
for the last 6. Bring Ryan Mason once again on the sideline. Maybe thinking now, it's probably not beyond the realms of possibility that they would do. Again, because there's nothing to fight for in the league. Bring an interim in, and they can start the process of getting a new manager sooner rather than waiting another 6 weeks. I don't know, but yeah, I think they will lose on Thursday.
Yeah, not sure. Not sure about him being sacked. Rangers at Bilbao is going to be a tough one, but you know what? I quite fancy Rangers. I don't know why.
Yeah. That's at home at Rangers, isn't it?
At Bilbao.
That's
Bilbao. Right.
Only on the first leg.
Does change stuff a little. But you would say Bilbao are probably the strongest team left in the competition. Out of the teams left.
Yeah, you'd probably say, yeah.
It's not a strong Europa League this year. I'll say that much. It's
not been great to watch either.
It's because it doesn't have the teams from the Champions League coming in. That's probably why.
Up and down, yeah.
No Seville.
I didn't like
no Seville, thank God.
It also doesn't have the teams that are qualified who are good teams taking it seriously either. Which hasn't helped. One team who have taken it seriously, they were the only team in a winning position because we go into the second legs. Bodo Glimt, whoever they are. Yeah, them.
Norwegian, I think they are.
Norwegian. Imagine if a Norwegian team wins the Europa League. Oh, sat the competition in. There's no point. Right.
That's Europa League is there for, Kyle, to get the lesser one, the lesser clubs in there winning trophies, eh?
I think you mean the Conference League. Moving on to that.
Yeah,
in fact, I've searched it. It hasn't even come up. There we go. That's how much people don't care. Chelsea then 3-0 up over Legia Warsaw. Over Legia Warsaw. Should be job done, but you know, how funny would it be though, guys? Right?
Oh, here we go.
Imagine. I'm here for it. The Legia Legion come back to win 4-3 on aggregate. We can all dream. Chelsea should win. Betis 2-0 up should win. Fiorentina should win. And Rapid Vienna are 1-0 up, and that could go either way, really. The two teams. Who Chelsea got in the next round, Matt?
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure.
It hasn't come up, so that's not good for me. But either way, Fiorentina or Betis are the big threats.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the Conference League as if it's a done deal. Chelsea Betis or Chelsea Fiorentina is a tough fight for them. It's a tough battle.
I would say Fiorentina's the harder one at the two. I'd say Fiorentina because they get to the final against West Ham 2 years ago.
Yeah, they've lost 2 European finals in a row.
Have they?
Yeah.
Who was it last year then?
Last year was Atalanta and Bayern Leverkusen. That was the Europa League. Sorry, yeah. Never mind.
The Conference League had Olympiacos in it.
I might have been Fiorentina then, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember watching both of the finals, and it's just like, the West Ham one, and then it's like, so if I would sit there and say, if I faced them in the final, maybe you can. They haven't got a good record, so if I was going to pick.
How does it feel to be the outsider in someone else's story? Because that's Fiorentina's story this year, isn't it? Not yours.
Oh God!
Third time's the charm. Can they finally do it? That's the story.
I mean, we all remember Benfica's curse. Maybe
yes.
Fiorentina follow. Yeah, and that's the European games. We've gone through the Premier League games. We're waiting on the FA Cup. I can't wait for that. It's itching away.
When are those matches? When are the FA Cup matches?
The following weekend, 19th. No, 26th.
Right. Yeah, they'll be great. I'm looking forward to them.
I want to just talk about a couple of other things that have gone around today. Sad news, 4 hours ago, the death of Kevin Campbell died of natural causes, it says.
Oh, wow.
He died in June last year, by the way, anyone who's confused, but it was natural causes. So, yeah, just a shout out for Kevin Campbell. One of those strikers that people don't talk about enough for what he did in the Premier League, but boy, was he a good striker in the Premier League. An interesting one. Luka Modric has become Swansea investor and co-owner today.
What's that about?
What?
Jesus.
I love the idea that Modric has had that time at Spurs and he's going, I really liked going to Swansea. It was a lovely place. Can't up the Swans. You know, it's
for all the clubs in all the world to pick.
I don't think he actually ever went to Swansea though.
He did. He played against Swansea.
No, I don't think he did.
Well, I'm looking at a picture of him playing against Swansea on the BBC website.
Unless
BBC are photoshopping it. Whether he didn't go to Swansea away though, maybe. I'll give you that one. But yeah, that's it. Any other things caught your eyes over the week?
I see Eddie Howe went to the hospital recently. He was diagnosed with pneumonia today. Shocking news there. Yeah,
he's going to miss the next 2 games as well.
Yeah, but seems to be doing okay. But kind of a bit shocking news today.
Yeah.
Step up, Mike Tyndall, who's been waiting for this opportunity for the longest time. But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's jumping out, but I don't think
maybe
it is.
One other thing. Bournemouth have taken the lead against Fulham with Semenyo getting the goal. That's in terms of up-to-date football news.
I actually do want to mention the fact that obviously Arsenal are going to Madrid in the week, and unfortunately Thomas Partey's injured. Surprise!
Oh, there you go. I'm still sticking with 3-0 then.
Surprise! So Thomas Partey seems to get injured every time they travel to Spain. I'm saying nothing. Right. I said to you guys at the start of the recording, can someone come up with a question so that Matt Thorney can say a stupid, controversial opinion? Has someone got something?
I haven't got anything, mate.
So it's all on you, Matt. It's all on you.
No, I haven't got one.
All right. Well, considering Luis Suarez was the best striker ever to have played, let's change position, shall we?
Ooh.
Okay.
And Matt's going last. Let's give him extra time to think. Let's go best central defender ever.
Off the top of my head,
I'm giving you guys not a lot of time to think about it either, so get at them in the comments when it's crap.
Okay.
I would say. Oh, sorry.
No, Matt Thorney's going last. Last.
Right. Come on.
We all wait for that one. David?
Yeah. I would say Maldini or I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Maldini's a decent shot. I mean, you could throw.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
Franz Beckenbauer.
But then it's like Beckenbauer, Terry, Puyol. There's so many. I'll go with Maldini. Sorry, I'll go with Maldini.
Maldini's a good shout. I like Maldini. Stu, if you got Rio Ferdinand, I swear.
No. There's no chance in hell I'll ever say Rio Ferdinand.
No, he's going to go Harry Maguire.
I got to be honest, when you said that first name that popped in my head was Paolo Maldini, because the guy was playing into his 40s, like literally the guy was playing
at the highest level as well. Yeah.
He didn't even retire and come back. I don't think he just basically consistently been AC for like so long. But I would say Paolo Maldini. I think that's a.
I think you've got to think about Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer's definitely in that conversation.
I think Carlos Puyol would be in that conversation.
Carlos Puyol would definitely be in that conversation.
That run, that Spain run between 2008 and 2012.
To throw in a more modern name who would, in my opinion, be in the conversation, Sergio Ramos is up there.
Oh, Ramos, of course. Ramos. Yeah.
But I'm actually inclined to agree with the two of you, mainly because of what Stu just said with Maldini, the longevity that he had at the top of the game. That Milan side, by the way, in the early 2000s, built around Maldini at the back and Shevchenko up front. We say PSG are fried, and they were something else. That team.
They were an animal.
So
I can't believe I forgot about Ramos. Yeah, I would certainly have him up there, though. I'd probably even have him over Puyol, to be honest. I know they played in the same Spain team, but
arguably
for his
Ramos has won
longevity as
more.
well, and his European pedigree, as in Champions League pedigree as well. He's playing in Mexico right now, actually. But I'd definitely put Ramos up there.
Right then, let's have it. Tell me why John Terry's the best centre back to have ever lived.
No, I'm actually going to go Franz Beckenbauer.
All right.
I am flat out. The moment you said it, I was like, no, Franz Beckenbauer, because, okay, obviously none of us were around when he played, but he introduced a style of football in that area of the field that was unheard of. That still played today, especially today. Yeah, hands down, Franz Beckenbauer for me, and he won the Ballon d'Or as well for his efforts too. So yeah, Beckenbauer.
Who do you guys think is the best centre back in the world right now? I'd probably say Van Dijk, I guess.
Well, I second that.
Can't think of anyone.
I love that. I second that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'm
if
trying to
there's
think
anybody to go against.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it should be Van Dijk. He's good, but he's not as good as he was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Saliba.
Not yet. Maybe soon. Not yet.
Like we're talking about right now.
Like, not yet.
Like Rudiger,
right now,
maybe.
Not last few years.
Right now, yeah.
I'd put Rudiger in that conversation.
Yeah.
I would. If you based it off the last, if we're based it over the last few years, then I would put Rudiger in that conversation.
Barca's got Araujo and.
Do you know who was really good? Diego Godin from Atletico Madrid.
He was superb.
He was special. With how defensively compact they were and how just difficult they were to score against, especially.
Who's Bayern centre backs this year?
That's what I'm trying to think as well.
Upamecano. He's considered one of the best. I've not seen it when I've watched them play. I mean, Ollie Watkins ate him up for dinner, let's be honest. So, yeah, I mean, you'd probably have to say Van Dijk begrudgingly.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Stu's loving this.
By the way, everyone, mark this one in your calendar. This was the episode that me and Matt Downey agreed. Yeah, Beckenbauer was a great shout. And I do actually 100% think, because of the reason he said, in the sense of you look at players from the 60s, the 70s, and you go, okay, we didn't watch them. We weren't around. I get that. But what is their legacies? What have they done that changed the game? And Beckenbauer is one of those players that changed the game.
And he would be able to play in any era of football and still be one of the best players in the world. I didn't really think that. That's
would Tony Adams maybe fall into that category as well?
No, he was
generational players, like just players who kind of.
I think Tony Adams. I'll be honest. I think if in today's world of football he would have been a mid-table sort of defender, I don't think he was actually a leader. He was amazing.
Yeah,
but the actual out-and-out defender, I wouldn't. No, I don't think it's that for me.
Paul McGrath I'd throw in there as well, by the way. I know I'm a Villa fan when I say that, but what he did at Villa and at United, by the way, definitely a legendary run. Cool. Are
we putting Olive Melberg in there as well then?
Oh, well, give me Martin Larson all day long. Right. I think that's it, guys. I don't like ending that with Matt. Can you say something that I don't like?
Okay. Luis Suarez is the best striker that ever lived.
There you go.
Doesn't have the same effect now. Right.
You're just used to it.
Yeah.
It's growing on you. It's growing on you.
Yeah. To be fair, there's this video. As I said, that was it video I sent out on that. There are people that agree with it, so I don't think it's as controversial as we think it is.
This is my first podcast since then, so I'm just going to put this out there to the world, to the person. You are also wrong. You are. I'm sorry. God. But
you just want some conflict to end the episode with. Someone so badly to disagree with him.
I feel like when people know I'm coming on this podcast, they expect some sort of conflict, and it's fireworks. It's boring, isn't it? You know? Yeah. But on that note, I'm aware that
it might come next weekend, Carl. I want you to get over the pain of the Champions League before I throw another one in the mix for you.
Uh-oh.
Is that it? There we go.
Can we do an episode? Can we do an episode right after the Villa match tomorrow? Can we please? I want to see the reaction from both of you, depending on how the results go. I would love that.
I mean,
or live feed. Kyle, we were talking about we want a live feed into your sitting room when you're watching it. That'd be just amazing.
I'll say this, and you guys know this from my personal situation. I have a 2-year-old in this house, right? So when I watch Villa at night time, it's hard to stay quiet. It's not easy. Did you guys see that clip of the Arsenal fan trying to stay quiet after Declan Rice smashed in that free kick last week, and he's run out into the garden to scream because the baby's asleep? Brilliant. That'll do us. Big games next week, as we say. We'll get through them. I'm hoping I'll be here next week. By the way, 2 weeks in a row. Maybe. But these three, the Arcade Football Committee will certainly be back, I'm sure. I like that. We can stick with that. So yeah, make sure you are following along on YouTube, subscribing, doing the things. If you're watching the shorts, in fact, Stu, this one's for you. If you're watching right now on YouTube Shorts, make sure you hit subscribe, and then we can get all the stupid opinions of Matt Thorney right to your following into the subscription box. There you go. Just for you. Look at that. We'll be back next week with Villa in the Champions League semi-finals, Chelsea out of the Europe, and Matt Thorney in tears. Thank you, everybody.
And Postecoglou down the Dole office.
There we go. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah.
Only one of them's going to come true, and it's the Spurs one.
He might be right there, boys. Right. See you later, everybody.
See you later. Yeah.